Hi guys, it's Michelle, and today's video is going to be yet another TikTok conspiracy theories. These are some of my favorite. I feel like I literally do say that about every single video I film. But these really are some of my favorite videos to film because I just love that you guys tag me in a bunch of TikToks and you're like, please talk about this. And the creators on TikTok are so damn interesting. Conspiracy theories are ones that I haven't heard of, and I love that. So let's get right into it. Of course, follow me on TikTok and tag me in anything if you please. We're gonna talk about, first thing, I saw a couple TikToks about mystical vibes like mermaids and vampires, and that shit really excites me. So first, let's talk about the vampire one.
Okay, so let's talk about the supposed vampires that live in New Orleans. Locals believe that the city is actually home to real living vampires. During the 1930s, brothers John and Wayne Carter were executed for committing multiple murders. About a dozen bodies were found, drained of their blood, after a young woman managed to escape the brothers' apartment. Sightings of these brothers are reported up until this very day because their bodies mysteriously vanished from the funeral vault. Why am I thinking of Stefan and Damon right now? Now fast forward to 1984, where 9 people were found around the French Quarter area, all with their throats ripped out. Paramedics and first responders were dumbfounded because even though the scene was gory, there was no blood. Also, vampire culture is majorly popular in New Orleans, but that must have stemmed from somewhere. The missing persons and crime rate is incredibly high around the French Quarter area. What if this is something more?
Okay, so this TikTok user, Maddie is so fetch, love that name, talks about this conspiracy theory that there are vampires, but I do kind of believe in mystical creatures just because I always think like this. Whenever I think about aliens or vampires or, centaurs, mermaids, all of that shit, all I can think about is how someone came up with that. Randomly decided yeah, I'm gonna make this bitch half fish, half human. That's the vibe for me, and it's gonna be beautiful though. And the thing is that in my head, I feel like that doesn't make sense because I'm yeah, I guess people have imaginations, unicorns maybe wouldn't be that hard to create, I guess, but I just think that maybe these people saw this thing and that is why they are created. Also, I feel like vampires have a lot of history that no one really talks about. Something is up with those stories about how these people in New Orleans were found with obviously their bodies were found just no blood in them, and I guess there could just be humans who drink people's blood because they're little cuckoo cuckoo. Are they really vampires? And I guess it goes into the whole conspiracy theory that all these celebrities were vampires, like Nicolas Cage and Jay-Z and all of these people that we see now but who don't age, or we see in the past Keanu Reeves. That's a whole conspiracy in itself, and that I kind of think is just coincidental. There's 7 billion people on the planet. Obviously a lot more people existed. Obviously we're not the first people here, so I think that it makes sense that people looked other people from many years ago. But I will say some of the resemblances that I've seen in celebrities and then people from the past are very uncanny and a little bit weird, and honestly kind of too specific. I don't know, sometimes I'm what if they are fucking vampires right now? I do find this theory to be really interesting. New Orleans is obviously one of the places with so much history and so much culture, and it's so interesting. Do I think vampires are a part of that? I don't know, but if you guys well, I'm fully vaccinated now, so if somewhere in the future, maybe around Halloween, I kind of want to go to really cool places like Salem and New Orleans and all these places that have I guess history of hauntings, and film videos there and talk about it and go really into depth. I think that'd be really cool. I've been wanting to do that for a long time, and I was gonna do it in 2020, but then Corona happened. So now that everybody's getting nice and vaccinated, I would love to do that in the future if that is something that you guys would want. So let me know. But do I believe that there are vampires in New Orleans? Honestly, there's very little that I don't believe. So maybe but I feel like they're probably everywhere, but it is freaky. And I do think about a lot how people go missing and then just are never found. And I don't know if that's because of aliens, which we're gonna also talk about later, but something about it is little sus. Those stories really freak me out because why would the blood be all gone? Like if it was like such a gory scene, like how would they, like other than them literally having fangs and being able to like drink someone's blood, I don't know how they would be able to do that. You know what I mean? I don't know how they would be able to like drain someone's blood like so fully where to the point where they all noticed that there was like no blood whatsoever at the scene. Weird. One mystical creature that I 100% believe in is mermaids. I saw this TikTok the other day.
This better not be what I motherfucking think it is. It's a fucking mermaid, motherfucker. It's a fucking mermaid. I saw a fucking mermaid. It's a fucking, what the fuck? Okay, I'm seeing shit though. Like, nobody noticed this fucking mermaid in the sea. Like, nobody see this mermaid, bruh. It's a fucking mermaid out there. I heard myths, but I didn't know it was true. This motherfucker out there swimming. Nobody saying nothing. People out there just sitting, looking at him. What the fuck? It's a fucking mermaid, man. It's a fucking mermaid!
And personally, I feel like this is just somebody in a costume, but I don't know. Like, I mean, how the hell would we know? Like, obviously, I feel like that's gonna be most people's first reactions because, but she's kind of out, like, in the middle of a lake. So who the fuck knows? But, like, I would say, as a kid, I did, in fact, craft several mermaid tails. Well, actually, I didn't know how to sew. So, like, I had the people in my life who knew how to sew, craft mermaid tails for me. And I loved that shit. So I would fucking swim around with mermaid tails. I mean, I wouldn't go to the ocean and do it or, like, a lake because, I don't know, I guess I wasn't ballsy enough to do that. Like, I feel like that is a little bit dramatic. Especially because this person who's swimming in the water is alone, so that's also weird. But basically, over the years, there have been several mermaid sightings, like thousands, if not millions, I would say. I feel like mermaids definitely exist. I think so much scary shit exists in the ocean that there has to be something similar to a mermaid. And I know a lot of people are like, mermaids are not what you think they are. They are so scary. They have sharp teeth and like claws and they're fucking terrifying and all this stuff. And I'm like, no. Like in my head, I know I'm like such like a dream, like I'm an Aquarius, so it doesn't make sense. But in my head, I just feel like there are mermaids who are like the H2O mermaids, like Ricky, Emma, and Cleo, you know what I mean? I just feel like there's pretty mermaids that are cutesy and like fun. Yes, we've heard about like the scary mermaids. Definitely people have seen like sightings of that, but also there's like the entirety of the idea of like the siren and these beautiful mermaids who, these sailboat men, sailors, who they would see these beautiful women and they were like half woman, half fish, and they would sing like, have like an actual like siren voice, and they were beautiful. So I think that there might be both, because let's talk about how literally 90% of the ocean is unexplored at this time. I just feel like it'd be kind of dumb to think that there isn't something similar to a mermaid somewhere under the ocean. Like, we like literally don't know what the fuck is under there. I'll say this again and again, I just got chills because this is how much this annoys me, is that we need to chill on exploring space and start exploring the ocean. I get it, space is interesting. Me literally loving astrology, and I'm like, space is interesting. Okay, yeah, no, but space actually does really freak me out. We're gonna talk about that in a second. But my main thing is that the ocean is here. We go into the ocean every day. In our lifetimes, you're probably not gonna even know someone personally who went to space. I just feel like the ocean is definitely something that we should be exploring. Like, put that work to the ocean. Like, NASA, relax. Like, I don't know. That seems like a later issue. We need to deal with what is in front of us, and that is the ocean, because what the fuck is under there. Ultimately, I have personally always believed in mermaids. I do think that there are some that are probably creepy and scary, which is what, you know, people have reported seeing, and I think there's some who are probably beautiful. So I hate when people act like mermaids are mystical creatures, because they're probably not. whatever. The last little mystical creature moment we're gonna talk about is aliens, and I saw this TikTok that I found very interesting.
Here's an unsettling theory on why we haven't made contact with aliens yet, and it involves the Fermi paradox. The paradox is that how do we have such a lack of evidence of alien life when by all accounts we should be seeing alien life all over the universe? The observable universe is about 90 billion light years in diameter, and there are at least 100 billion galaxies, each with 100 to 1,000 billion stars. And there are probably trillions of habitable planets in this universe, which means there's tons of opportunity for alien life to exist, so why haven't we seen it? Well, here's a creepy explanation for why we haven't. Let's say you're scuba diving above a coral reef, and you know there should be fish all around you, but you don't see any. It's most likely that they have learned that for some reason it is important to stay hidden and not be seen. And since you're the newcomer to this environment, chances are it's not you they're hiding from.
I find this theory to be super interesting, which is essentially like that aliens are hiding from something bigger. I have talked to one of my friends. He's basically like a very much space nerd moment. He went to like space engineering school, I don't know. He wants to go to space, wants to be an astronaut. But anyway, so I was talking to him one day and we were talking about like aliens and like obviously the fact that we are not the anomaly, like obviously. We're having this conversation and he believes that like there is some point, because obviously like we don't have the technology to get to wherever the aliens are at the moment, otherwise would have already happened. And he thinks that aliens would have the technology to get to us, but something is like stopping them or killing them along the way. Like there's like some type of barrier. I guess not necessarily around Earth. I just thought of the fact that people have actually been to the moon. What the hell? Anyway, sorry. What the fuck is space? Life is literally a simulation. I actually can't think about space because it really freaks me out. Aliens, anyway. I just love that concept that like something is stopping the aliens from getting here. Or like what would be holding them back? Because obviously it would be pretty dumb to not believe in aliens. I think most people do. And I think what's even dumber is to like automatically assume that like we are the most advanced species. I'm sure that there's some type of even way farther advanced than us, or way less advanced than us too. Yes, there are definitely aliens, and I like this theory that like something is stopping us and them from like conjoining, because obviously we have some like UFO sightings and like different things that the government might be trying to hide from us, because I think that if there were aliens and we were all consciously like genuinely aware of it, because even though we are aware of it, we're not facing it, you know what I mean? So I think that there would be reason for the government to hide that from us, because we probably would freak out. I just find this to be so interesting, and I find the concept of space and aliens to be really interesting too. I don't really like to think about it too much because I will have an existential crisis. What do you guys think? Like, do you think that there's a reason that we're not having contact with aliens yet? Like what's stopping them, or what's stopping us? Next freaking conspiracy theory really freaked me out, and it honestly reminded me of weird concepts videos that I used to do.
Did we all have the same exact childhood? Now when I was a kid, I remember sitting in the back of my parents' car, and as they're driving, I would look out the window and I would imagine a silhouette of a man doing parkour and leaps over buildings and stoplights. Now I thought I was the only weird kid who would be imagining this kind of stuff. A silhouette of a man doing parkour and leaps over buildings and signs and stoplights. Apparently this is a common imagination that a lot of us had, and I wonder why we had the same exact experience. Here's a pretty close example of what I would imagine as a kid.
Found this to be really interesting because not just that, but also I feel like we all had the same childhood in so many ways. We all used to sit in the car and like look out the window and pretend we were in a music video, especially if it was like raining. It was really dramatic and fun. And I don't know what to do with this conspiracy theory, because when I first saw it, I was like, why did we all, I feel like, have so many similarities in all of our childhoods? Tweets that I've seen gone viral. We all had similar thoughts as children, which is interesting because it's like, why? Like we were all different people doing different things, having different life experiences, but also having the same random thoughts. And I don't even know. I don't even know what to think about this theory, but I would love to hear you guys' opinions on what you think that that could possibly mean. Sometimes I think that like life is genuinely, honestly, truly a simulation, and that nothing is real, and that's why we all have the same childhood, because bitch, you're the only person in the universe that exists. Is that too far? I don't know. I don't have words. What do you guys think about these conspiracy theories? I would love to know. But anyway, that is it for today's video. If you guys liked it, please give it a big thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about all these TikToks. I would love to hear your opinions on them. But that is it. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, because I'm always posting some really dope ass shit on there. Subscribe for new videos every week, and I will see you guys later. Bye.